idea what he was just doing right there. But Tech fans, welcome to Up with the White and Gold. In fact, I never know what he's doing, and he never knows what I'm doing. But he's John GA Tech, John Watts. Gotta figure out how to put that better. And Jeremy, the Impact Dork, of course, is me. Like I said, this is Up with the White and Gold. There's tons to get into, but first, as always, how are you, John?
It's still busy as always. It's uh tonight that the girls going there and Maddie's got something to do like every 3 or 4 days, it seems like. So yeah, it's always busy. I mean, they'll probably slow down like never, but probably
That's a
when
good,
I'm 50.
yeah, that's a good time. You are slowly
When I'm
approaching that,
50,
so
yeah. Hey, look here now. I already told you were ahead of me.
yeah. But I aged like wine.
So unless okay. Not like cheese.
No,
You good?
not like milk either.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry. I had to make sure that someone didn't cut their finger off in the kitchen.
Ah, yeah, he's actually at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant right now. That's where he is, undisclosed location. It's on the beach. So, but anyway,
Yeah.
we are here to talk about Georgia Tech football, and I think you stepped on a banana peel. We're here to talk about Georgia Tech football, and they had an interesting little game here. We're going to go over some of the stats and all, but this is something we've said all year long, that this Tech team is a team that's just quirky enough that if you let them hang around, they're going to beat you. And Miami decided to get cute with a couple plays towards the end, and then that last play of the game happened, and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets put loss number one on the board for not so undefeated Miami.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, reading all the stories afterwards and people saying that somebody should got fired. Maybe the announcers were like, "This is the worst decision I've ever seen in my entire time being an announcer." So
He
it's
must not
like,
be an announcer for
I mean,
long.
I
There's a lot
understand it. I
worse.
mean,
Go ahead.
yeah, I mean, there's definitely some things, but I mean, it happens. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I think even someone pointed out that this is not the first time this coach has done this.
No.
He's done it at another school, so I guess just I mean, running out the clock is one thing, but I don't know. That's a decision. I guess we'll take it.
Oh yeah. I mean, now Tech sits at 3-3. We'll get into the standings a little later, but don't look now. But Georgia Tech has beaten two undefeated teams this year that are pretty good squads, and a little bit of foreshadowing. There's still one undefeated team left on your schedule.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we'll take that one too. If well, I don't remember it. I think it's at home this year, so I mean, they can come down. We'll take care of
Mm-hmm.
them too.
Yeah. Slaw dogs for everyone.
Still pushing that varsity.
I mean, might as well. I mean, I don't know why coach won't take me up on this offer. I don't think the message is getting to him. I think for some reason, every time I make that offer, it's like maybe blacking out on the screen. But let's get a little into this
And,
game here. You got Haynes King. Obviously, he had a pretty good he had a pretty good game. 12 for 25, 151, the touchdown, the two interceptions. I think it's because they were playing from behind for so long. Or it always felt that way, even if the score didn't reflect that. It felt like they were trying to just catch up to Miami for so long that's why he forced some throws, and those aren't really throws in his bag. So that kind of thing's going to happen. But honestly, it seemed like it was more this defense. I mean, I don't know your take on it, but it seemed like more of the defense kept him in it, because the offensive, I mean, even on the stat sheet, it doesn't look that impressive.
yeah, definitely. I mean, even from both sides, I think. Defensive wise, especially through that first half, it was very, very defensive game.
Mm-hmm.
You point out his two interceptions, but Miami's quarterback had three interceptions. So it was definitely kind of keeping it there, back and forth, until the very, very end of that first half. Of course, someone even scored.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely good defensive game, especially like I said, especially in that first half.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was the Haynes party as far as rushing touchdowns with Haynes King and Jamal Haynes both having rushing touchdowns there. We talked about
Yep.
the one that Haynes King threw. But I mean, like I said, you look and Kristen Leary had the lone touchdown. It was a 44-yarder. That was a fantastic catch. Blaylock, one catch for 34 yards. Everybody else it was so spread out that even the Miami stats are that way. This was such a weird, quirky, typical Georgia Tech style game as far as the new Georgia Tech. This is not your grandfather's Georgia Tech team. I keep trying to tell people that. These people actually pass the ball. They do it pretty well. But like I said, it's if you're an undefeated ranked team coming in, or if you're I gotta look at the rest of the schedule. If you're any team, if you let this Tech team hang around, they're gonna be a problem for you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's kind of learning to keep pushing, and finding those right places where we can make those good plays. I mean, like saying it was only 3-0 at the end of the first half,
Mm-hmm.
and then Miami starts going, and you think, okay, well, here they go. But then, all right, we're gonna let them in. We're gonna let them in,
Yep.
and it's kind of back and forth in that fourth. And we all know what happened at the very end of that. So yeah, I mean, you let us in, and we're gonna we're
Yeah.
gonna make you pay for it.
Exactly. Like you said, 3-0 Miami at the half. Uh, Tech gets back in it in the third, makes it 14-10, and then the fourth quarter and the circus that turned into. I mean, we hear Belichick in New England when people ask him, why didn't you just run the clock out or things like that? He likes to keep his foot on the gas because every time that he has started to take the foot off the gas a little bit, it's come back to bite him, and that's on the pro level. So maybe the Miami coach is thinking the same thing. Like, I got to keep pressing. I got to keep doing a few things here. Maybe it feels like it was going to get out from under him. So he decided to get a little cute with the play call.
Yeah, definitely, and did absolutely get out from under him and his running back. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna definitely try to just keep running, literally running out the clock, and just didn't work.
Sorry, I was looking at a different stat here. But I mean, you got to give credit to Aiden Burr, who had a solid day that kept this team in it. Um, God, who
Yeah,
else? There was
yeah,
somebody
definitely
else I was going to say, and
otherwise
I
point field goal.
yeah.
That field goal started the quarter.
Mm-hmm. And that really is what kept him in it because without that touchdown at the end doesn't mean anything.
Yep.
And it was I think it was Leary who caught it was the lone touchdown. It was the last play is the one Leary got. Up until that, he had done zero, like just nothing. He was completely almost non-existent as far as the actual box score is concerned, the score sheet. And then all of a sudden, the way that play kind of unfolds, he kind of reminded me of the team up in Athens, where on any given play, Brock Bowers has about a 10-yard ring around him. There was nobody near Christian Leary. He just basically snuck behind the defense and was standing in the end zone, like, if you want to throw it, I'm right here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he was covered. I mean, they did a good job covering for most of the game, and then on this last play, and you can see he runs up and then kind of fakes out one guy and then fakes
Mm-hmm.
out the other guy, gets himself wide open, and I mean, nothing between. And there was nothing between him and the end zone.
Nope.
So
And I,
it worked out really well.
the Madden creative player attribute here is awareness. It's his awareness to realize that he could beat the defender, a couple defenders there, and the awareness of Haynes King to go, you know what? He's wide open. I should hit him.
Yep.
But like I
Yeah,
said,
definitely. I mean,
oh,
you
go
can
ahead.
see. I mean, No, I was just saying that. I mean, we see Haynes kind of moved out, kind of scrambled over to his right, and then gave it time for him to get open and perfect um, pitch and catch.
I do find it funny that no
Sorry, I had to
matter,
throw in a little baseball reference. So we got that going on.
hey, it's there's I don't know how that game's playing out, but last I heard it wasn't going good for the locals. So um yeah,
It's not.
yeah, it did. It's gonna be a fun day tomorrow. That's a real fun day. I'm gonna interact with a lot of Braves fans, so it's gonna be fun. Um, it's just real funny to me that as soon as Mario Cristobal makes that choice, all of a sudden everybody wants to jump on him. Now, what if that would have worked out? He decides to make that call. What if it would have worked out the way he thought it would? Like you said, he's done this in previous stops. It's kind of part of his game. It's a a club in his bag, so to say. Let's make a golf reference. We'll see how many different sports we can reference with this. But he's done this before. I don't have a problem with it per se. For one, he didn't ask my opinion, but I mean, you get. I'm not even going to mention their names, but you get the so-called expert analysis people that just want to jump on a guy when something doesn't work out. But had this worked out and they win the game, these same people that are criticizing wouldn't hear a word from them.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, with your what we call those the Monday whatever quarterback,
Yeah,
whatever that phrase is called.
Monday morning quarterbacks.
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't remember. I was like, what is it? Whatever.
There's a couple
Yeah, I
phrases I
mean,
went with that one.
yeah, I mean, it works. Um, yeah, I mean, if he makes it through, if he doesn't fumble, I mean, well, if we don't block him, he just runs it up and gets another score.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's nothing but no, throwing another reference there. But
Yeah,
happens. People want to criticize when it don't work and praise when it does. It's just what they do.
that's kind of
But
how life works. You get past it, and you know when you did well and you did your best, and I don't think he's hanging his head so much. It's a little bit of a wake up call to Miami. I feel bad for whoever they play this week, and I did know it until a second ago. Let's pull it up. Whoever it is, because they might. Who are they playing? I'm watching it right here. Ooh, yeah, they're probably not going to run the score up actually, but that's going to be a game we're going to talk about in a minute. Um, but I feel bad for somebody. Somebody is going to get the back end of the bat here. It's not going to be this week, but somebody is going to get repaid for what Georgia Tech took right here.
they might pay it forward in a couple of weeks. I mean, they got
Yeah,
on the
not this week.
Crimson. No, not this week.
Yeah, like I said, we'll get into that with a segment we've used on a couple of the other shows. We're gonna start using on this one too. Um, but Tech gets a bye week after this, so you get to 3-3. It's I'll be honest, 3-3, 4-2. That's kind of where I kind of had them this time of year. Wasn't quite sure this was going to be one of the wins. Like I said, they could be 4-2, but they could also be 2-4. So at this juncture,
Yeah,
being 3-3, with the opportunity to win 6, 7, 6 or 7 games, they're not going to make 8 now. You'd have to win 5 out of 6, and that's not going to happen. But they
yeah,
could
it's gonna be
win
tough.
3 or 4 more. You're looking at a bowl game, and actually, this team looks like they could wreck a few more seasons.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we got two more ranked teams to play, and with the close to Halloween game against UNC,
Mm-hmm.
and then Thanksgiving game against Georgia. So um, definitely could see that. But I agree that 5 out of the 6 is going to be difficult. Um, but I kind of expected us to win against Bowling Green and not win against Miami. So a trade off there.
It evened
Uh,
out some weird way.
yeah, I mean that's the way the world works sometimes.
Which actually, I noticed that if North Carolina does keep it up, if they win the next couple of weeks, they'll be undefeated when they play you guys, and that would be pretty interesting if you knock off 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 4 of the undefeated teams on your schedule.
Yeah, I mean we'll take it.
Yeah, because then looking at it, just quick off the top of the head. You guys should beat Boston College in a couple of weeks. North Carolina, I mean, you're beating undefeated teams. Why not? You might, but let's say 1-1 at that point. I think you can beat Virginia. They're not having a great year. Even if they were having a good year, I think you could beat them. So 2-1. Clemson's a coin flip for the sake of it. We'll say 2-2. Syracuse is good, but I think you can get Syracuse. And then the game against Georgia. So even if you go 3-3, 4-2 at this point, I think that's the way the season's going to play out.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I've been for 6. So I mean, if we could take three or four out of them, I mean, I said 6, you said 7, so 3 or 4 out of the last ones, we'll take that. Boston College, like you said, it should be all right. Even though someone said earlier that we're 0-2 versus teams that have avian bird mascots. So,
well, luckily they're the
only
only one left.
Yeah, we got some random ones. I think out of what's left, we might have 2 that actually have, or 3 out of the last 6 actually have something that I actually know what they are. I don't know what else. I mean, there's a Cavalier for Virginia, but sometimes the Walker thing, I don't know what the heck that's supposed to be.
I mean, we could have a whole podcast trying to figure out the whole Auburn, Alabama mascot thing. So,
oh yeah, like
that makes no sense at all.
Let's be an elephant.
Yeah, or we're the Auburn Tigers, right. and but, yeah, but they say War Eagle, and it's like, are you an eagle or a tiger or both? Or I mean, you got to be one or the other,
right? So yeah, that's. But then again, I mean, even for us, we're Yellow Jackets, but we call ourselves the Rambling Wreck.
It's true. You actually named that for a car. People don't realize it's a car.
Yep, car's a wreck, and we're the Rambling Wreck.
Mm-hmm. But as we said, you guys are on the bye week. Yep. I always like to famously say, there are ways you can't necessarily win the bye week, but you can lose it. And the way you lose a bye week is your player does something to get arrested or hurt or just mess up the flow however possible. Maybe gets mad at a teammate because he lost the Halo tournament. I mean, just could be all kinds of stuff. But I think this team is pretty good. It seems like Coach Key is gonna keep them in line, and they should be good through the bye week and actually rest up and get some guys healthy.
Yeah, that was a good thing because that game against Miami, I mean, it was a battle, and losing the previous week against Bowling Green, it takes some tolls on some people. So get some rest for a week, and we'll come back and and we'll have Boston College come down, and we'll see what we do against them.
Of course. And as I said, you get the bye week, or as we just said. So we'll obviously talk more next week about your week 8 opponent. But something we started on some other shows that I want to kind of bring to this one is called Who You Got. And we're going to talk about there's only 5 ACC matchups, so we might just talk about all 5 of them. Basically, it's our pick 'em thing. We're going to talk about these. Just kind of tell me quickly who you got and why. Basically, is how it's going to go. Is it only 5, or did I mess it up? Okay, I did have that backwards. What was I looking at? I don't know what I was looking at, but all right. So for this Saturday, let's start right there with the top matchup. You get the Syracuse Orangemen, whatever that is. It's probably an Oompa Loompa. That would make a lot of sense, actually.
Yep.
So the Syracuse Oompa Loompas are going to face the number 4 ranked Florida Seminoles, and that one is in Florida. Who you got for that one?
Florida State all the way.
I think it's got to be, no matter how far wide, right or left they are.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so bad. This isn't the '90s anymore. So even though they were far right, far left back then, it's they're coming back to their prominence that they had.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up an FSU fan before I went to Tech. Um, so I mean, I still am. I still like to watch and see what they do. So I mean, I definitely pulling for them for this year to make that playoffs. If they can, that'd be great. Have an ACC team in there again.
Yep.
Um, you know, over the last, I think I saw a stat over the last 10, 11, 12 years, the ACC champion has been Florida State or Clemson, except
Mm-hmm.
for 1 year. So Florida State come back in and do something, win the ACC, get in the playoff and do something. I know it's going to be hard to. I mean, it's Georgia, Michigan, these powerhouses that are stay around for there. But yeah, definitely. But yeah, for this game, yeah, definitely Florida State.
Oh, there's a weird way, and that this will be a complete different tangent on a different show at some point. Maybe this show later on. But there's a weird way that the Big Ten and the SEC may not be in the top four at all. It could actually
Yeah,
happen. But
yeah,
I got to go Florida State. That's the noon kickoff at ABC. Florida State's a 17 and a half point favorite. I would still take the under on that. They'll probably win by 10 or 14, but that's going to be a pretty good
yeah.
matchup. Next up, ACC Network. Looks like the home team is a 1.5 point favorite, which that's kind of surprising. 3:30 kickoff. It is the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. I don't even know if they're still using demons. They may just be deacons now. Against the Hokies of Virginia
No,
Tech.
it's still Demon Deacons.
Are they? I was about to say, I mean, you might as well be a Demon Deacon if you can be a Hokie. So,
Like, what is hokey pokey? That's what it's all about. But I'm going to say that's not what it's all about this game, and I'll take the away team, Demon Deacons. I mean, uh, they've been kind of here and there this season. Virginia Tech kind of the same way. So I mean, it's kind of a battle of your mid pack teams.
mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna go Wake Forest on this one.
Yeah, and I promise you guys we're not going to agree on all of them, but probably 3 out of these 5 we're going to. I think it's Wake Forest for sure. They're definitely the better team of what I've seen of them this year, and the fact that the home team is only getting a 1.5 points. You typically get a 3 point advantage for being the home team, which means if they played on a neutral site, Wake Forest would be a 1.5 point favorite, and if they played it at Wake Forest, they'd be a 4.5. So Vegas is telling you right now that Wake Forest is going to win the game.
Yeah.
6:30 p.m. on the CW network. So Vampire Diaries fans, you're going to have to wait a couple hours before you can see the end of season 3. Or if they show Stargirl again, that's a really good show. Filmed not far from us for everybody who's paying attention. And
Right.
it looks like the road team is a 7.5 point favorite in this one. Number 14, Louisville, brings their 6-0 record to face the Pitt. What are they, Panthers? Pitt Panthers, I think.
Yep.
Who are 1-4, not having the world's greatest year.
Yep.
But who you got, Louisville or Pitt?
Louisville. I mean, like you said, they're undefeated. Trying to play I mean, I know this game's in Pittsburgh, but undefeated team against a team that's only got one game. I think it's no, I think it's a pretty good win here. I find it odd that it's only wins. That's kind of interesting. I mean, I think they probably do more than that. I don't know how big. They probably won't be like an 80-0 game, but I think 7's kind of underdoing it.
Yeah, it's. I agree. I mean, it's not, even if there wasn't a 14 besides Louisville. If I see 6-0 versus 1-4, there's no way you can pick 1-4 unless you're just getting ridiculous odds and you know that like the starters are not going to play for the undefeated team. But Louisville, not much to say about it. Louisville's going to keep rolling. They're going to be 7-0.
No, are 2 and
Yeah.
yeah.
Next up in the last few minutes of the show here as it winds down on Up with the White and Gold. I actually think the juicier matchup is the last one I'm going to mention. So I'm going to mention this one first. Number 25 Miami coming off that fresh L handed to them by the Tech Yellow Jackets. Got to bring that up. Lots of Miami fans I interact with every day. I actually I wore this shirt all day Monday to make sure they could see it because they were all talking really, really loudly about how good Miami was on Friday. They were pretty quiet on Monday. But Miami, the Hurricanes, they are going to try to disrupt the number 12 North Carolina Tar Heels, who are 5-0. North Carolina is a 3.5-point favorite. That's the ABC 7:30 game. Do you like birds or do you like Rams?
I'm gonna go with the Rams. I think they're having a great season. And I mean I know Miami's gonna kind of come off the our game being mad, but I think unfortunately they're gonna get another loss here with the Tar Heels of Chapel Hill. Like I said, Carolina's having a great game, and it's in Chapel Hill, so I'll take Carolina.
Let me throw this disclaimer out. I want North Carolina to win. I do. But for the sake of this show and the sake of making a good argument, I think Miami has the potential. I do actually believe this. I think they have the potential to rebound. Like you said, they're mad. I don't know if they're mad enough to knock off North Carolina, but if this game plays out similar to the way the one with Tech did, if this comes down to a last couple plays, I feel like Miami's going to not get burned twice in a row, and somehow the ball's going to bounce their way. And we're looking, it could be 35-31, 31-28, something like that. It 27-24. I think they're going to score a lot more than that. But give me Miami for the sake of the show because, like I said, we're definitely going to disagree on the last two because I'm pretty sure who you're going to pick in the next one. That should be a fun game. And then the last one, 8 p.m. ACC Network. The home team is a 3-point favorite, which means Vegas has these guys as a coin flip, basically, if they played in our backyard. It'd be fun if they did. That'd be a good game. I would get the whole neighborhood together to watch that. Number 17, Duke is going to host NC State, and what could be quite the civil war on a football field. You got NC State or Duke?
I'll take the home team, Duke. Like I said, they're having a decent season. And again, it's home. I mean, it's an 8 primetime game. So I mean, they're doing pretty well over the last couple of years. They weren't the team that they used to be. It used to be it's like, oh, you're playing Duke. No, that'll be a good win. But they definitely come out to play in the last couple of years and having a decent season this year. So I'll take Duke at home.
See, I don't have to disagree with what I normally think now. I'm taking the Wolfpack. I don't know why. I mean, they have almost identical records: 4-2 for the Wolfpack, 4-1 for Duke. I don't think that matters. I think for some reason NC State is going to have that chip on their shoulder. They're going to say we can knock off not only Duke, our in-state rival, we can knock off number 17, and we can further ourselves in the rankings going up. So actually, give me the Wolfpack.
Okay.
But got a couple minutes left. Anything? Did we miss anything or anything you want to add?
No, I think we covered the ACC, all the different things there, and we covered the mirror, so to say. So yeah, I think we're good.
Well, then, so that we have time to make it to the varsity and meet Brent Key here soon. For GaTechJon Watts, I am Jeremy the Impact York. This has been Up with the White and Gold. We will see you guys next week. How about a Go Tech on the way out?
Go Jackets.